crypto overall is realized as a riskier asset.
The riskiest asset.
The riskiest asset. People say it is purely speculative. In terms of most crypto assets, I would say accurate. However, Bitcoin, as of right now, that's the most inaccurate statement there is. I consider Bitcoin to be a 100% risk off asset in base, like clear-cut terms, not involving external factors like global relations. Reason being is because welcome back, everybody,
to another week
of your favorite crypto podcast,
Sometimes Crypto,
the Unscripted
Crypto Podcast.
Ew. If you're new here, boy, do we have a show for you. Hopefully you like about learning about blockchain technology, cybersecurity, finances, what else? Talk about a whole lot of stuff. Some usually in that realm. Also, we have a conspiracy corner every once in a while, but I don't got any. There haven't been any good ones
lately.
Yeah, there haven't been any good ones. So with that, if you're new and you do like this video, as you start watching, drop us a like. It really helps the algorithm for us. Yes.
I forgot what an algorithm was for a second.
Nah, trust me, I have not forgotten what an algorithm is. And if you want to continue hearing us, just press the little subscribe button.
What you said?
Okay, William, enough of that, I suppose. Market's playing with our emotions, isn't it?
Trump's playing with our emotions. Not the market.
Oh.
Trump is making everything go bad on purpose. But still.
It's the guy in the big old Oval Office. He's trying to crash the markets.
He said it.
Purposely, actively. He says,
he's trying to force Powell.
He's trying to bend that hand for sure.
Which I didn't, until I looked into it a bit, I didn't realize why he was trying to, force interest rates down until you realize that they have to refinance like a couple $1 trillion worth of debt.
Government debt, yeah.
Which explains everything.
Yep, cheap debt for the United States means longer operation.
Longer offer, yeah, pretty much. Because I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think in the next 6 months he has to I forgot the exact amount, but if we were to refinance at what it would be now, he goes, I don't think the U.S. would. I'm not saying he said this. I'm saying the theory is that the U.S. can't afford it. Period.
Yeah, the amount of debt. Yep.
And this has thrown speculation into, if he's trying to force Powell to drop rates, it's not a 0.25%.
Oh, you see, how much should it be?
So if we have the initial debt, I assume it's max 1%.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? We're nowhere near that number.
For what Powell will end up
for what Trump would need to just bankrupt America in 10 days. Not Trump, but just so it doesn't bankrupt us.
So when you say we're nowhere near that number, you're saying that the amount of damage that Trump has done is not significant enough for Powell to have to cut interest rates by 1%.
No, what I'm saying is we're nowhere near the interest rate number needed that Trump will need to continue running.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know too much about the finances of how much debt we have, how much money we need.
It's irrelevant. It's $34 trillion worth of debt. You can assume it's basically whatever it is. It's more than $1 trillion, $2 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So just the interest payment alone on that at 2-3% is already 2x, 3x more than what we're currently paying.
Okay, I think I follow. But a percentage off is percentage off, though.
It doesn't matter if you can't afford it. Like, we can't afford to pay it. Like, we'll have to print more money to pay it, I assume.
Oh, very likely.
Like
also,
we're already running on a deficit. So it would most likely just increase that deficit more.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what I'm saying is and also to what you just said, that we haven't seen enough pain in the stock market to go risk off for the moment to force Powell to lower rates further or necessary, like to that 1%. I also seems likely.
I think this is a great opportunity to introduce two terms: quantitative tightening and quantitative easing. Essentially, quantitative tightening is when the Federal Reserve chooses to be more stringent on funds by increasing interest rates and trying to keep enough pressure for inflation to stay low, as opposed to quantitative easing is lowering interest rates, adding liquidity to the market, and just essentially making it easier for people to spend money, which typically results in higher inflation.
Yeah. Also, it's the sell and purchases of federal bonds.
Yeah, that's how they manage how much money is in circulation.
The money supply itself, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the assumption is he hasn't ended quantitative tightening. He's easing up on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, he won't start true quantitative easing.
Yeah, you're referring to Powell.
He is Powell. Whenever he is him, that's Powell.
Powell, he is Powell.
He is Powell. But Powell already stated that he won't go to true quantitative easing, meaning adding liquidity into the market, like actual liquidity, until he drops into interest rates back down to where they were
like 5 years ago.
And pandemic prices, like rates, like 0.25%.
Yeah.
And he's like, until that doesn't happen, we're not going to really loosen up on we're not going to really start quantitative easing. Like, it's a 2-step process. He's only doing step 1, which is the rates themselves.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean...
Sorry, go.
What were you saying?
No, I was going to start talking. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Not like other countries, because China had I think this month or last month, I think it was this month, had their first deflationary, like just month in general, and they've already started quantitative. They've already started decreasing rates as well, like aggressively.
Okay.
To stimulate. And Canada did it last month. They've already dropped their rates by like 0.25%. Or a little more than 0.25%. So U.S. should be next to do it. I tried to see if we had an FOMC meeting this month. I couldn't find it. So if we do, so it's up in the air whether we're going to get if we're getting either a rate cut, if he's seen enough damage and inflation numbers cooled off enough to hold off or drop rates.
Mm-hmm.
He probably won't raise rates just because of the whole tariff situations we have going on.
Yeah, I find it hard for him to want to raise rates or find it necessary to raise rates.
Yeah. Necessary and want are two different things.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because for the most part, I think Powell seems to be working in what he thinks is needed, not based off of what his expected, like, desired outcome would be. His desired outcome is dropping inflation to 2%. And whatever he needs to do to get there is what he's probably going to want to do, or need to do. Yeah,
so I think we'll probably get no rate change next FOMC either way, unless something like drastic, something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Unless something preface, unless something crazy happens, like we see like S&P drop another 10% from here to there.
Yeah, the S&P 500.
No, the S&P.
What is that?
The S&P. Yeah, well, the S&P 500. Yeah. No, because there's also the SPY, which is just a derivative of that, which
that's
is smaller.
That's the future. Isn't that the future markets of the S&P?
Could be.
Yeah.
I know one's bigger than the other. I don't trade. I don't trade them enough. I don't.
He doesn't trade stocks. He's only
I
in
don't
the
know the
crypto
difference
game.
between one and the other sometimes.
He's only in the crypto game, boys.
But and they've dropped 10% from their current all-time high right now.
That's a lot. That's significant.
About 10 to 11% by the time market opens today. Yeah.
Actually, market just opened.
No, they didn't.
Do they now open at 9?
Pre-market.
Oh, it's 10.
9. They open at 9:30.
As you can tell, I don't trade stocks either. It's been a few years.
Yeah, I know my market opens. I'm there when the Asians wake up and wanna fuck with us. Damn it! I already cursed.
This guy.
But before we move on to whatever you want, since we did mention all-time highs, you know what made an all-time high this week?
What made an all-time high?
I'll give you $5. No, I won't give him $5, but you know it's funner. I'll give you $5.
Gold.
Damn it! I owe him $5 now. Damn it! You are right. Gold hit an all-time high of $3,000 per ounce.
Okay. Damn. That's that definitely sounds like an all-time high.
That's an all-time high. Up to a substantial amount.
Yeah, Peter Schiff definitely a happy boy.
Peter Schiff, I told you all.
He's like, look how much Bitcoin's lost in the last while gold's reaching all-time high.
I mean, mind you, it took gold 30 years to get there, but it's irrelevant. But yeah.
Also, gold's market cap is the largest market cap in the world.
Also, is it like 11 trillion? 14?
Well, I don't know now.
Last time I saw it.
At the new $3,000 per ounce, I don't know.
I don't know either. Last time I saw it, it was like 12 trillion or something like that.
Yeah, it's some really large number.
Yeah. So, where do you want to sway to first?
That's a great question. I don't know. I didn't write notes as I normally do. Again, the third time this month.
You write notes?
Yeah, of course I write notes. You don't write notes?
I would have never guessed you write notes.
I just kind of remember what we talked about yesterday. Forgive me, boys and girls. I literally just woke up from a 4-hour nap, and
he's
not
had
nap.
A rough time with
sleep. my 4-hour sleep.
He's had a rough time with work and school, guys.
Work, school, and
the Masters
podcast.
is getting to him.
It's a lot of work, guys.
He's like, shoot me now, mother.
But it's a good time. I'm learning a lot, definitely. All right, William. I don't know. What catches your attention? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess we briefly mentioned tariffs.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, okay, we did talk about the damage that Trump has caused, or like more so the purpose as to why Trump is causing damage.
Why he's causing all these tariffs.
But we haven't talked about what's causing these. What was the word I just said? You said tariffs, and I was like, that's not the word I said. I forgot. Damage. That's the word. Okay. So tariffs is how he's causing them. And
with everyone and their grandmother.
It's looking pretty troublesome out there.
Market's shaky because of this. Because one day it's tariffs, one day it's not tariffs, one day it's 200%, the next day it's 50%.
25, and then whatever you tack on, I'm gonna tack on again.
Yeah, which makes it's insane. It's real trade wars. Like, it's an actual trade war right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, mind you, I do think the U.S. has been. I'm not gonna say tariff wise. I'm not gonna say speak on the rest of it, but I do believe we have like been the most
lenient.
Yeah, with the way we tariff in the past throughout probably the last 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were never really aggressive with what tariffs we imposed on other countries for importing their goods to us, or is it vice versa?
Importing
No,
their
exporting.
goods to us.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
importing.
Yeah. I said yeah. I said you're right.
You said okay.
I said no, but I said you're right.
Yeah, importing our goods to the United States. That the reason why we had low tariffs is to stimulate like bringing in goods and services, so that we could have it over
goods.
here. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I say services because like in terms of like actually producing the whatever's being imported, it's not being produced here.
We do final assembly at most.
Yeah, at most. And there's also like raw materials that we could be bringing in, lumber, energy, for example, or final products that we could be bringing in, like I don't know, teapots and computers.
Yeah. And medicine, like we do import
and
medicine, of our medical.
Which the whole medicine thing is that one's kind of crazy. That one's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, Canada. I'm gonna start with China. China said, "If you want war, I'll give you war."
Okay, what? That's what they said.
They literally said, "Whatever type of war you want to fight, I will fight it with. I will fight it too."
That. Okay.
China's
about it. They about it.
China's like, if you want trade wars, if you want economic war, if you want war, we throw hands.
We're there for it. We're here for it.
Like, we'll swing.
Loki, that's kind of real.
I was
Sucks.
like, damn.
We ain't trying to do wars just to do wars. If anything, avoid all wars always at all costs. But
even if we cause them on purpose, so then
when it comes down to it, if you gotta throw hands, it's like a respectable thing to do. And China's ready to throw hands.
China's like, you want to throw hands? We'll throw hands.
Yeah. So what are we doing to them? Are we raising our tariffs on China?
So as from what I've seen with China, it hasn't changed since the last time we've mentioned it. It has changed a little bit. I think it went from 10% to 25% now, and that's about. I haven't seen more of that. Like I've seen, like they haven't gone back and forth. Canada and Europe are the ones who are really going back and forth.
Okay, because last I know was like China got like a 25% tariff across the board.
Yep.
But that was like years ago. This was on Trump's last presidency.
This happened yesterday, dude. We talked about this the other day.
Okay, so then additionally, China also got new 10% recently. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. You're right. Okay, and then we also have Canada and Europe facing major tariff implementations.
Yeah, so Canada's the one that has more back and forth, which is funner. Like it's funner to watch Canada.
The reason why Canada has more back and forth is because they have a lot more trade that's done here in the United States. Very necessary trade.
I think it's more. I wouldn't. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think China also has a lot of trade with us. Like we.
But I'm not referring to China. I'm referring to between Europe and Canada.
Oh, Europe and Canada. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So apparently Trump is implementing. It was a 50% tariff on lumber and steel and aluminum. And then I think I saw Canada go, oh yeah, you want to play that game? Then we're going to tariff you 25%. We're going to tariff you 25% of the electricity we bring in. Or like we'll cut your power off, essentially.
Yeah, so...
Because Canada supplies power to Michigan, New York, and there's another state around there that they supply power to. Like that northern region. Kind of wild they supply power at all. kind of while you're like threatening to turn off people's power.
I mean, I don't. Okay, so I don't think that worked out. Okay, so Trump is implementing a tariff on the power, and that power provides, like, I think it's like the three northern states specifically housing millions of people, where the power comes from Canada. That's like imported electricity. That's not a tariff that Canada's imposing. That's a tariff that Trump is imposing. That's self-imposed strike on electricity for those three northern states. I think it's like
Yeah, you're right.
Michigan, New York, and another one. I don't know. I don't remember. It's not so much that Canada's threatening to turn off our power.
No, he did say that.
He Who's he? Jay Powell?
Huh?
Jerome Powell? He?
No, not he, him. No, my fault. No, no. I saw I believe it was I believe they have governors over there. The governor of like Ontario, like the guy who runs Ontario, like that area who provides the power to them, says we'll just cut their power off if they continue.
Okay. So
like he said this on a live like press conference.
Yeah, that's different. That's like, okay, you're gonna keep on raising like our tariffs. Like, we could keep on raising tariffs too, or we could just not play the game and just cut the power. Yeah, that is pretty wild, because the thing is that also hurts him to a degree, because now they just have an excess amount of power, and what are they going to do with it? Are they going to sell that power? No, because they just literally cut off their clientele. So to a degree, that also does hurt Ontarians. Something like that. Canadians.
So you see, it was no. So I just ChatGPT. I just grokked this, so we can get better insight. So this came out first in relation to Trump's tariffs on Canadian goods. Initially set at 25% and briefly threatened to rise to 50% for steel and aluminum. Ontario Premier Doug Ford imposed a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the U.S. for Michigan, Minnesota, and New York.
Minnesota, and New York. Okay, so Minnesota was the one that was missing.
Yes. But that was Canada who imposed that 25% surcharge on it. It wasn't us that imposed the tariff.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I see.
Correct. So Trump's response to this was on March 11th, because what I said happened on the 10th. On March 11th, Trump announced that he would double the tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum from 25 to 50% in response to Ontario's surcharge, calling Canada a tariff abuser. And then, however, later that day, it all fell through. Like, everyone backed off.
Trump's like, oh, you want to go 1 for 1?
He's like, you want to go for 1 for 1? Because one hurts more than the other. That's the thing, though. Because at its core, if these tariffs do actually get imposed and go out of hand, it just means we have to produce inside the U.S. and not get those expensive products.
So,
if the price goes up significantly.
And it's either we buy it from whoever's currently providing it at whatever the price is, meaning some people are going to get priced out and will not be able to afford electricity, or we start producing it internally. And even then, if the person who's been producing the electricity already has been doing it for a while, maybe they've been doing it for a cheaper price, which I don't necessarily think is the case for America.
I think it's comfortable.
Yeah, I think America does have the opportunity and the potential to be able to produce a metric boatload of cheap energy. It's just that we literally haven't. We've been investing our money elsewhere, just to put it one way.
Yeah, like, let's be clear. America has the the minerals, the everything to do whatever they want without
the resources.
Correct. The resources do whatever they want without needing to go out the U.S. The only thing is, it would cost more initially until you find a way to make it more efficient.
Look, I have a perfect solution to energy crisis, but the last time I mentioned it, I think we got like shadow banned on YouTube. So
I think we did. We did. It was nuclear. I believe so. I'll say it because it's true.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah,
we have nuclear-powered military carriers and what's the other one? Submarine that we can have nuclear power plants to power cities.
Okay, guys.
That are now 50x safer than.
Since we're talking about it, I am kind of curious as to what your opinion is, because it does seem to be controversial for some reason.
It's very controversial.
So please, in the comments, let us know what you think about nuclear energy. Like your opinions. Should America adopt more nuclear? Should we not? And your reasoning if you can. But yeah, nuclear is definitely an option, in my opinion.
The most efficient option.
So, the issue with that is that it will take upfront cost for any. Okay, and going back to the whole Canada tariffs for energy and the surcharges. If we do raise the price on energy immediately from our cheapest provider for those 3 states, then there will be a time where price of electricity would surge immediately. Okay, yeah, sir, go for it.
Trump already said that if they were to raise that 25% super surcharge, they'll switch them to our power and he'll subsidize the difference in cost.
Okay, which leads me to the next thing that I was gonna say.
Oh.
The upfront cost is gonna be insane for America. Like it's not gonna be cheap, because subsidies for making sure people have electricity, and then B, funding, which is other subsidies essentially, the actual production of brand new power plants so that we can meet our own demand.
We'll talk about nuclear a little later because we still need to stay on topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
I was
gonna leave that behind if I'm being honest, because I'm not trying to get
mention things that we think we're just crazy. We're just like, that's the whole strangling topic.
Well, I just left it. I felt like I was like, just let us know what you guys think.
But yeah, so there are trades. So that's what happened there, which is
with energy, but then additionally, the whole lumber one is also kind of insane. Because we get a lot of lumber
from outside,
from Canada.
From Canada, yeah.
Specifically, because although America has a bunch of trees, also
we don't cut them.
We don't cut them. Also, the reason why we don't cut them is because the vast majority of them are in like national parks.
We also don't make we also don't use we also don't have an abundance of forests like to cut them down. But I also believe we don't have any like just plant, like we don't plant just to cut.
So here's the thing. It takes, I think it's 10 years, let's say 5 to 10 years to grow trees. Specifically, the trees are used for
lumber,
for building houses. No, lumber's wood, comes from trees. But essentially, the trees that produces the lumber take, let's say, 10 years to reach maturity so they can be harvested. We don't, like you said, we're not planting trees specifically for the sake of cutting it. The majority of the trees that we do have are in national parks, and then additionally, trees, the further north they are, the slower they are. They tend to grow, but it also
harder the wood, the stronger
the harder wood. Exactly, the stronger the wood. And Canada has a lot of lumber, like an insane amount of forest over there, and it's also way further north than the United States. So
they probably replant as they take out. to a degree.
They probably do. I would assume they do. I feel like
if they're a large export.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing.
But then also they do have a metric boatload.
Yeah, 100%.
Actually, closer to like a few dozen metric boatloads.
Fair. But yeah, so that's a whole mess.
And then on the other hand, what were you gonna say?
No,
Sorry.
Go for it. No.
Oh, I was gonna switch over to the country across the pond. Not the country.
Big pond.
Continent.
Well, I was gonna briefly also say, don't forget, it's not like Canada doesn't tariff our products when they enter Canada. Because I see videos of everyone like of Canadian stores removing all like liquor, or bourbon, or whiskeys from the stores, and apparently Canada is the biggest buyer of our alcohol. Like they buy more of U.S. Produced whiskey than even America.
What?
Like they consume more U.S. whiskey than America does.
That's low key kind of surprising. I'm not gonna lie.
100%. But I saw them taking off the stores, and my thought process was, because you're getting tariffed on it. Then it's like, yeah, but you're tariffing our goods too, though, that go into stores.
Well,
Like
going back to the whole
products.
thing. Like, if they're getting tariffed on it, well, Canada already imposes a tariff on bourbon.
I assume so.
Yeah. So,
But I mean, the raise in tariff,
mm-hmm.
because I'm sure he probably made it reciprocal, the same. Like
I see. Like, America started tariffing imported alcohol.
Maybe. Well, I think it's more so like they're just removing off stores because we also raised the tariff we had on them. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay, but
they already had a 10% tariff beforehand.
Who's they? Canada.
Canada already had 10% tariff, or
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. Canada had 10% tariff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Canada probably we raised it. We raised the tariffs.
We don't raise the tariffs over there. Like maybe
yeah. I'm saying we raised our tariffs to their products coming in to 25.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's when they started removing things off the shelves. This whole tariff thing confuses me sometimes.
Who's charging who?
Who's doing what? Who's doing what? Stop it!
Yeah, because it's a little harder for most people to follow because of the fact that like it's
the imposing nation.
Yeah, it's the imposing nation that's paying for the tariff. Because like, okay, so for example, Trump raised a 25% tariff for what was it, electricity, right?
No,
not electricity.
No, that was Canada who put the surcharge.
Okay, but for how much was the tariff that we put? 20%?
25%. It was all across the board, and 10%.
So that's
on electricity.
That's 10% for electricity. Okay, so Trump imposes a 10% tariff for electricity. That's not coming out of Canada's pockets per se. That's coming coming out from the user, the people in Michigan, Wyoming, and New York. Those people are going to be paying, instead of $1 for kilowatt of electricity, they're paying $1.10. Now, how does this affect Canada? That means that they're likely going to be selling less electricity overall because now it's more expensive for us. So we're going to be more cautious about when we use electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. I totally understand why it could be confusing at times.
Well, the thing I was gonna say was I'm saying they were taking the bourbon off off Canada's taking American bourbon off the shelves to not sell, right? And I found it funny because Canada, when we export our goods to them, like our dairy goods, they're tariffing it at 200-300%.
They're tariffing our dairy 200, 300%.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty expensive milk.
That's expensive cheese. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, enough of these trade wars. We've been on this for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
On to the EU.
EU. What's going on in the EU? Was it not tariffs also?
Yeah, it is, but it's somewhere else.
It's somewhere else. It's not Canada anymore.
It's not Canada.
So, pretty aggressive tariffs for the United Nations. Not United Nations, just Europe.
Yeah, I said the EU. European Union. UN, United Nations.
Correct. The EU. The EU. I'm sorry. Again, 4 hours of sleep, guys. Continue.
So I haven't seen like any any tariffs in per se that we were going to impose on them except for one. And apparently all I saw was Trump. I just saw this one thing go out and it's like Trump saying Canada is very aggressive towards America. They're not like, they don't want to have like friendly trade. So since they don't want to be friendly, 200% tariff on all alcohol imported from Europe.
That's heavy because I feel like we import quite a lot of wine from Europe.
Wine, champagne.
Oh, champagne! I forgot. Yeah.
Expensive cognacs is probably as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
not tequila.
That's Mexico. That's a different problem. And we're already buying the cheap stuff, so just the cheap stuff get a little more expensive is all.
Yeah, but 200% on alcohol imports from Europe that's a pretty penny.
That is a
$10 bottle of wine becomes a $30 bottle of wine.
That's you're gonna buy more California wine at that point.
Yeah, essentially. But can California produce enough wine?
No, I don't. Well,
Napa Valley.
Dude, I don't.
Also, the flavor profile is not the same. Like you can't. There's a reason why alcohol comes from certain regions. It's because the fruits that grow in that region are simply built different.
So we also, to add, we implemented a 25% tariff on EU steel and aluminum. And we're threatening to put a 25% tariff on all goods from Europe and a 200% tariff on the alcohol, as we said. Because Europe is planning, so this is what I found. The EU has countered with plans for $28 billion in tariffs on the U.S. goods starting April 1st, 2025, unless negotiations alter the course. So they're planning on tariffing us like $28 billion.
Damn. That's... Yeah.
It didn't give... this. You know what it is that... This didn't even give a percentage. It just gave money. Just a number.
28 billion is a lot of money.
Dude. Quite a bit. I'm trying to see if I can see a specific like detail.
It's kind of crazy how big numbers get real fast.
But yeah, so trade wars are causing this whole market meltdown. Even if Trump like actually melts down the market, if these trade wars continue, it's gonna be hectic. It's gonna be a hot mess.
So, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of talking about these other countries and how does this affect crypto? how does this affect Bitcoin or decentralized blockchains? Is there any correlation?
Yeah, it's called risk
between
off, risk on.
risk on, risk off? This guy's Mr. Wasabi.
It affects crypto because
Have you seen the Karate Kid?
never. I only saw the one with Jackie Chan.
Oh, the one with Will Smith. I mean, yeah, with Jaden Smith.
James, yeah.
Yeah, sorry for you. No, you got to watch the original one.
So apparently,
I said Mr. Wasabi, and it's Mr.
I know,
Miyagi.
it's Mr. Miyagi. I realized.
I
thought you were doing it on purpose.
I did do it on purpose. I just didn't think that it looked like you didn't realize it. So I thought I was gonna get a reaction.
I assumed you did it on purpose to call me Mr. Wasabi. Did you know that they're coming out with another Karate Kid with all the actors?
That's well, they did like a show. They did like Cobra Kai.
Yeah, they did it, but they're gonna make a movie with everyone from all the other movies, from even Jackie Chan's gonna be in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Jaden's gonna be in it, but Jackie is.
Yeah. So clearly, we go off into random tangents, but
not the point.
Yeah.
So the thing, what this turmoil causes, like these tariff wars and this whole thing, is the markets decide to go risk on, risk off. With high rates, inflation still sticky. And now add tariffs that we don't know the effects it's gonna have until probably until they're really implemented and they're decided on. We just don't people aren't sure what to do, because since crypto is on the high end of the risk curve, it doesn't allow for price to move either stagnant or down for a long period of time until things settle.
Yeah.
Same with the stock market. It's in the middle of that curve, on that risk curve. So they're coming down, just not as aggressive. And then the lower end of that curve is real estate,
bonds,
whatever. Bonds is on the end of the other end.
Yeah. Bonds
are so safe you can
Bonds are so safe that you'll be losing money getting them.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, at one point or another. But in times like these where prices are dropping 5-10% in the stock market, it really does.
Crypto overall is realized as a riskier asset.
Not most people, the riskiest asset.
The riskiest asset. People say it is purely speculative.
Correct.
In terms of most crypto assets, I would say accurate. However, Bitcoin, as of right now, that's the most inaccurate statement there is. If anything, I consider Bitcoin to be a 100% risk off asset. In base, clear cut terms, not involving external factors like global relations. Reason being is because United States chooses to cut interest or raise inflation, raise tariffs, then based off of certain market conditions, yes, Bitcoin could have some risk. Just like holding gold over holding US dollars. When you're trading two assets, there will be one risk in correlation to the two assets. But as an asset in and of itself, Bitcoin, I find it to be the most risk-off asset, as it's fixed supply and distributed in nature, and then also extremely secure. It does seem to me like a risk-off asset, but that's not the typical view.
I'm gonna give a little pushback. Not because I don't disagree. I agree with everything. I agree it should be looked at as risk-off. But the issue here is it's no longer even though the majority of Bitcoin is still held by 57% of individuals, right? The thing is, it's now embedded in the institutional money.
Okay. Yeah, facts. It is.
So in large by nature, when things go risk off, Bitcoin will go risk off.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, that's why we have this price this price, because the institutional side of it has gone risk off. Not even talking about ETFs, because that.
But when you're saying risk off, you mean like they're getting rid of that risk.
We're getting rid of risky assets. We're letting them go for USD.
Which in this case, Bitcoin. Yeah.
Bitcoin.
And factual, the institutions have a lot more money, and because of that, they can sway the markets quite significantly enough to have what we have now.
Mind you, not ETFs. This is not about ETFs. This is institutional money.
Institutions, yeah.
People, companies, corporations that have
Yeah.
billions of dollars.
Similar to like Metaplanet. But I don't think they've been selling, if I'm being honest. I don't think they're the type of people to sell.
So I think that's the difference. I think individual companies that hold it on their balance sheets do not sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I think institutions who are obviously trading it, are the ones who are pushing up price and down price.
Yeah.
Mind you, we do have shady market makers that we have no idea that they're allowed to sell against. They're able to bet against their people who are using their platforms. So that's
also, I do want to, before we continue, go touch back on something that you said, just to make a quick like double take. You said 54% of people own Bitcoin.
I said 57%.
Or
no, I'm talking about
57%. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to like, because the way you said it, you made it sounded like 57% of people own Bitcoin, individuals, and I think what it is like individuals still own the majority, 57% of Bitcoin, as opposed to I just want to like double like pull it back, I guess.
Yeah,
just to make
57% of the Bitcoin that exists is held by individuals.
By individuals. Yeah,
and the rest is held by either not by individual people, but by
not like global percentage of people. That's still, I think, sub 3%.
Yeah.
If I were to, not in the United States. The United States actually has a pretty decent amount of holdings. I don't remember what it is now, but
what?
Like the percentage of Americans that own Bitcoin Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's not including countries, companies, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So where do you want to go? Where are we going to? I lost my train of thought the minute you interrupted me. I'm sorry.
The reason why I brought that up was because we were talking about the large institutions being like risk off
at the moment.
Mostly because of everything that's going on within
turmoil and inflation being sticky and all that shebang.
In the macroeconomics.
Correct. So that's also why it's causing Bitcoin. Well, causing crypto to be such in a sell-off. As not even mainly Bitcoin, really. If you think about Bitcoin zoom out, Bitcoin alone, standalone, it's performing really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually doing pretty good.
It's holding up compared to other cycles. Like the pullbacks are not as deep. The accumulation zone range is a little longer, but the pullbacks aren't as deep. It's holding higher more.
Yeah, it's like
it's
still trending upwards.
Correct.
Like in the macro thing.
Yeah.
But I saw the other day on Reddit, I think it was actually yesterday, about someone bought Bitcoin at $80,000 because they missed out at 70. They saw it reach 105 and they just bought it. And they're like, I need to buy. And on this Reddit, they were like, oh, well, yeah. Because the person asked, is this a good deal? Well, when you see an asset go from 105,000 all the way down to 80, that's a pretty large gap. I think it's like 26%, if I remember correctly.
Should be just about.
That's a huge change in price. So the question that most people would have is like, oh, but will it ever go back up again? Reasonable in the early ages of crypto and Bitcoin. Reasonable, I think now.
So to preface, from market peak to where it got, it's 30%.
30%.
The top to the very lowest, it dipped the other day 70 something, 77.
Oh, to the very lowest. Yeah, no, I'm talking about specifically about where this person bought.
Yeah, it's only like, I mean, it's so like 27%, give or take.
Pretty close, yeah. So, yeah, definitely like when you see large percentage like that changes, that's where the risk is essentially. It's like maybe what I have, yeah, if you need the funds.
Like me and I always say, buy Bitcoin, hold 4 years, you'll be fine. I also think we look at Bitcoin not as traders, specifically Bitcoin. Like maybe anything else, we'll probably trade it more. We'll sell it to buy lower. But for Bitcoin, a lot of people don't do that or try not to do that.
Yeah, most people when it comes to holding Bitcoin, just hold it, and then if they need to sell it, then they'll sell it because like needs change throughout time, and like that's fine. Money's for that, to spend it.
Yeah, because in this Discord I was in, they were talking about. He goes, "You're not gonna sell your Bitcoin when it hits the top to then buy back lower." Like they're just like, "Of course you are. Like, why wouldn't you? So why not make more of it?" And I'm like, "You're right." And then what if it doesn't? There's always that what if. Buy lower where? How much lower can you really buy depending on how high it goes? Because I hear, this is my personal thinking, I hear everyone going, oh, it's going to go back to 70, it's going to go back to 69, it's going to go back to 60. Which it possibly could. But it would be off-brand for what it's done in the past. Bitcoin has never gone, for the most part, after a 4-year cycle, has never gone lower than its all-time high. So theoretically, you're not buying lower than 60. Like, than 60, than 68. That would be its all-time high. So what do you mean?
What do you mean all-time high? Because all-time high is currently like 100
from its prior all-time high. Bitcoin has never gone lower than its 4-year cycle prior, like all-time high. So if its all-time high was 68 last cycle, the floor.
Well, it did do that. That's not accurate.
Yeah, with FTX.
Yeah, it dropped to like 15.
Yeah.
To like 15.
What was the all-time high before?
17.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's so.
I just want to make sure because I don't know if we put that disclaimer out there because that did happen.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though. That's why I said it can. It's unlikely because the one time it did, it was because you had the biggest. You had the biggest crash in crypto history.
Yeah, but like I feel like we always have the biggest crash in crypto history. every cycle, there's just a new biggest crash. Like before FTX, it was Bybit. No, Mt. Gox.
Yeah, but I didn't cause it to go below its prior all-time high.
No, that one did. That one didn't. But yeah, so I think Bitcoin, and this is not financial advice, I think Bitcoin will safely hit $150,000 this time around, which is thinking about that, like it puts a lot into perspective because I thought Bitcoin was going to hit $120,000 last cycle back in 2021. That's kind of where I was at, or 2022, better said. And boy, was I wrong with that one, literally by half. However, this time there does seem to be a lot more, and it's like you said, are you going to sell the peak so that you could buy back, or like are you going to take profits as it climbs so you could buy back when it crashes, it inevitably crashes, because that will happen. There will be a huge pullback, and I just think that the like legislation, the overall sentiment, and the willingness for people to for adopting crypto or Bitcoin bullish right now is way too bullish, to not have the question, what if it just doesn't crash or start to go down remotely close to where you think it's going to go down? What if instead of 150 being a safe number, it's a comical number, and in reality governments start adopting it, companies start adopting it, people start adopting it, banks start adopting it, and it reaches, let's say, upwards of 250,
Which all of it's all
250,000.
happening right now, by the way.
Yeah. So all these things, yeah. There's banks will soon be able to hold Bitcoin for its customers.
They were just giving the green light that they can do that. They can start working on.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly my point. Personally, I wouldn't do that. But to each his own. Granted, you gotta do what's most comfortable for you, and what you're comfortable doing with your assets. But yeah, essentially, there's a lot of opportunity for 150,000 to look silly right now.
Like, I mean, we've said on this podcast quite a bit. We might see the end to the 4-year cycle as we used to see it, at least for Bitcoin.
Yeah, for sure. There's a possibility. Well, a shift in the 4-year cycle, I'd say, like a bit of a jump, because part of the reason for the 4-year cycle is because of like that whole halvening event happening about every 4 years. The reason why I say shift is because before it was like very gradual buildup of users and active participants. Now we're gonna hit this and I believe the right word would be like schism, or like there's gonna be a change where now it's gonna be mass adoption that will just throw it off. And then after that, the 4-year cycle, I think will like restart back at whatever the new baseline would be.
I don't agree with that last part. I with the first half. That second half, I don't think so. Just because you're right, but at the same time is once you have mass adoption at that stage, there is no reason for there to have this cool off period.
The 4-year cycle, the 4-year halvening cycle.
Not the halvening part, but you're not going to enter a give it an example, a 40% bear market if you have all this adoption, because that means there's that much use.
I mean,
or that much money in the asset. It can't.
There's only so much of the asset, certain amount, fixed amount gets added daily.
So price should not go down at all.
I'm not saying the price is going to go down. I'm saying that it's gonna have like a sense of like hyperinflation, where the price per Bitcoin of Bitcoin per dollar is gonna shoot up immensely. That's what I'm saying. Way past $150,000, where it's gonna reach a new threshold of where it's gonna be, and then once that gets accounted for, like all the new adopters, then it will like find a new cycle up there in the skies.
Well, I mean by cycle, I mean like we won't. What I mean by cycle is that bear market period.
Yeah,
I think
I see what you mean. So you're saying like we're not gonna have that major crash down, maybe this cycle or the next cycle that we normally see.
At this one, it's still iffy because this process just started.
Yeah, and we're expecting the full bear market to come across within the next year and a half.
Not even
year and a half. Year and a half is kind of pushing it.
It's half a year. Technically, bear market starts mid to end of this year. This is the end of the cycle, and the start of a new cycle.
No, going back to the winter soon.
That's what I'm saying. If our macroeconomics are this bad and is pushing price down,
yeah,
you're already seeing a shift in cycle. Mm-hmm. Unless we've already peaked like a long time ago, and alts and everything has already been in a bear market.
This guy's saying we're already in a bear market.
I mean, that's the only other way to do it. We've already either bear market starts mid to end of this year, or macro has been so bad, has already caused a bear market, and you see another new pop off, because after this whole thing settles, money goes back into markets, not out.
Yeah, of course, but I think it's like we are gonna see this settle, like kind of like the latter of what you said. But that doesn't mean like we could still see that for like the next, let's say, 8 months. Well, what?
We that's a new cycle.
Not
Cycle?
necessarily.
Yes, necessarily.
Not
Time wise.
Not necessarily.
By history and time, yeah. Cycles.
Okay, so let's say 6 months. Let's say 6 months.
Do you know how much time the cycles typically take? We're already like 80% done with this one. 70% done with this one.
I understand that. But let's say 6 months. 6 months will put us in September.
Yeah.
Let's say in September something happens. We're now, okay, market settled. We're looking bullish. Huge pump up. Huge drive for 2-3 months. And at the end of the year, December, crash.
That's what I just said.
Okay, but I'm saying disagreeing with me.
No, I did not disagree. I literally just I said that. I said what you just said.
Okay, but
what you said was
okay.
9.
I
also forgot we're in March.
What I wanted to address, was the fact that, like you said, a half a year to a year. In a half a year to a year, we could do both of those options that you said. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't say that.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page with that.
I'm saying if it pushes out, I think the numbers, if it pushes out longer and like whatever, I think typically bear markets start at the end of the fourth halving year. Bear market. This is where we're getting
where the yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as I'm agreeing with you is that we have to see that super cycle like peak, not soon, but in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
And then by September,
no later than October, essentially.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We can't have a late run because if we do that,
then the train will be missed.
No, I think that either it already happens, or this is a new
we're
trend.
No longer. Yeah, I see. Yeah, we're no longer in the same 4-year cycle.
Yeah, because of monetary policy outside of crypto.
Mm-hmm. But that also goes back to what I said earlier about the whole schism thing. It's like
correct.
There'll be a shift, and then we're going to see a new cycle there where we shoot up, and then we're going to at some point find our balance. How long does that take? I don't know. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe till the very next cycle.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we start falling. If we already followed the stock market, we follow even more monetary policy. Like we follow monetary policy more because institutional money is in crypto. It means they will follow that industry.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. For all of it. I think there's a lot of opportunities within the next 5, 10, let's say even 15 years.
No, that's not that. We're pre-rich right now. We're pre-rich.
Like stupid pre-rich. Stupid
pre-rich. Yeah. Also, looks like Bitcoin may have hit a little bottom here from like last week we talked about like 79,000. Did hit the level we talked about like 2 episodes ago, about 77. Did bounce, so now we need to see an uptrend, which we have.
I met someone the other day with 5 Bitcoin to their name.
Nice.
And that kind of like, to me, I was like, damn, that's a solid amount of Bitcoin. Well, and then I'm over here thinking, I was like, what would be the most amount of Bitcoin I would like to hold? And thinking about it, I think owning 10 Bitcoin puts you in a class of extreme wealth like no other.
Yeah, but accumulating 10 Bitcoin now is very difficult.
10 Bitcoin. 10 Bitcoin now is 800.
Exactly.
$800,000.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, if I could manage to accumulate 10 Bitcoin, that's like that to me. I would consider it uber rich. Not the $800,000 though. I mean, granted, $800,000 is worth way more than what I have right now.
But the Bitcoin in itself.
The Bitcoin in itself is worth way more than $800,000.
It's like the the gold coins they use in John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
And how when he went to the reception to the homie and he pays, he only gave 1 gold coin. It's like kind of like that. It's like I only need to give you a piece of this to even.
Yeah, it's like one of this definitely covers whatever the cost is.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
On that, I saw a Reddit, which I found, or a tweet, I think it was a tweet from a Reddit post.
Mhm.
The guy goes, "I've caved," because this is touching back on when you said, "Oh, I wouldn't want the banks to hold my Bitcoin."
Mhm.
He goes, "I've caved. I've sold all my Bitcoin, and I've only bought the spot ETF." Like
That's
the Bitcoin
wild
ETF.
work.
He literally goes, I'm a maxi. I believe in it, but I'm the work entitled to just like I have to keep this paper safe, or I have to do this to protect it. I'm like, it's not worth my stress of mine. And apparently, it was like a substantial amount he had.
I don't doubt it. Like it do be stressful. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, you lose your wherever it is. You're like, damn it, this is not good. I have to make sure this is here. I can't lose this. Fireproof, waterproof, rust-proof, like nuclear bomb-proof.
Theft proof.
Get a theft proof. You get a pew pew.
Yeah, a little pew pew. Well,
Yeah, man.
I think there's been a lot of activity going on. Great potential for Bitcoin and crypto in the near future. We're gonna have to wait and see how legislation turns out to be in favor or against favor.
Yeah. Want to wrap up with a quick little Bitcoin price action?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as of right now, quick share before we leave, because I know Alex has to go be an adult,
A student, a scholar.
a scholar. So current price action is on Bitcoin. We hit the lower end of this 618, which we went all the way down to 76,000, which was about where we talked about the other week. We still have this lower end zone, which is here, the prior all-time high, as our support, and we bounced right below. So theoretically, this here could be our bottom. On that note, we do have quite a bit of resistance to the upside just because we do have the 200-day there. So we will need to see a good amount of buying pressure to push this back up and reclaim that area. But as of right now, easy place. We're at resistance and just need to keep going up at this point. Future thoughts, I think we do push up, and I think we settle a little higher. I think we hopefully reclaim back here, but we might need a real aggressive move in terms of just money flow in to go over the 50-day and the 100-day.
Yeah.
Moving averages, because this is going to put a lot downward. Just psychologically speaking, since people trade crypto, everyone thinks about the same thing. Everyone's going to look at this and be like, oh, there's resistance here, I have to sell here, which causes price to be sold there. It's a prophecy foretold that always happens. A self-fulfilling prophecy, correct. So
that's funny.
It really is. But right now we're still in a downward trend, or we're just leaving it now. Like we're breaking the downward trend now. So you want to see a break here and make a pattern, a thing in this area above where it was, above that 200-day, to hopefully then keep pushing forward like a trooper. That's really it. If this doesn't happen, if we break or reject around here, we'll probably revisit the 61, the 78, and then we could potentially see it coming back down to like the low 70s, like around here.
Okay.
If it doesn't manage to push and stay above, those are the two real options. Which right now we're pushing above. It's being a little stagnant, but not looking too bad. Quickly, what's up? You have a question?
I was gonna say, based off of the structure of the graph, it pretty much under the white line and above the red line.
Well, it's below the red line. This one.
I was talking about the square. The square. Below the diagonal white line and then above the square red line.
Here.
Yeah. So there's a shape there. I don't know if you would that shape fall into any of those like I want to say of the graph of the chart. So like like dead cat bounce, head and shoulders.
Oh, really? So as of right now, it looks like it on the 4-hour. It looks like it could be a potential like W. Potential, meaning the W pattern is basically it goes like this, right? It'll go like that. It would go here because if you note, I'll point out now, and then it would have to go like that. The reason I say it's a W because it went down, came here, went up, hit resistance, but made a higher low.
Mm-hmm.
And now it can push up. So this is why this move seems very likely, which is why I'm saying this area here is likely strong resistance.
Okay.
Because
I was just curious as to what shape you would see that as.
And really, if you want to, that's what it would be like a W pattern in this scenario on the 4-hour that we're looking at here. And if you notice here, it's more of a double bottom to a degree because it already went there once and it did it here again.
Yeah.
Like this one came a little lower, but it still bounced in relatively the same space. Made a lower low, I will say.
Yeah.
That, but
well, that second lower low, it looks like it just like peaked under and then
it didn't close. This is true. It literally hit it and on the 4-hour it closed above. So
yeah, so like it trapped the sellers.
Liquidity.
It trapped the sellers.
Well, it got liquidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, trapped sellers got buyers.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Well, it's more so just got a pocket of liquidity there of buy orders that forced it to push up.
Yep.
So this is actually what we're looking at. Is that W pattern that actually has formed because it went up, down, retest this area, bounced, and broke above. So this is actually a really good trade. Now I'm looking at it just like in this here. I have a Bitcoin trade open, not like this one, but you can put it to like the higher end.
So is this a trade I could take right now?
Live, right? Yeah, pretty much. This is like.
All right, so if I go to,
but
this Coinbase does buy and sell orders.
I don't know.
Let's see.
But it does look good. Oh, and the last thing I was going to say was total 3.
Does not. It doesn't look like it does. Sorry. Continue.
I was going to say total 3 is also breaking above its downtrend, going up, moving its way up back to 200-day and a new resistance line above. So we have it's rough out here. It's very choppy. Like market's really choppy.
What do I got? I think I got like $3.
Risk the full $3.
Yeah, I got $3. I heard. So $3 Bitcoin price. Oh no, amount in Bitcoin, 3 Bitcoin. That's not happening.
You can leverage that much?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing this on Robinhood.
Oh, you're gonna buy the Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't know. You said it was a good trade, no? What's the stop loss? When do I buy? When do I sell?
Oh, gee. Let me.
Okay, so Bitcoin amount $3.
Okay.
Buy spread of 0.6% includes the Bitcoin, so like 2 cents. Total cost $3.82. So don't buy yet. Why not? I thought you said it was a good trade.
It is, but starting to push back down, so you might be able to get in a little lower. That's the thing, though. Like I said, it is a good trade, but we're at resistance. We need to go a little higher.
Yeah, but like, isn't that when? So you need to wait till it breaks resistance so you could invest.
You need to wait for it because if you're under resistance, you have the threat of it pushing down.
Okay.
So you would want to wait for it to push above that 200-day we're looking at. And
Sorry,
then
guys.
you could probably.
For my yawn.
And and then you can put your stop loss underneath the prior candle.
Okay.
because you don't want to get into it under resistance, because then you're putting yourself in a pressure situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like it's pulling back a little bit. It could hold, but I would want to see the candle close above the 200.
I see. Okay. Well, with all that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. I think
it's been a longer episode.
I think we talked about a lot. I think we covered a good amount of dynamic activities across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah, I have a full day ahead of me, and I am excited for what's to come. And I hope you guys enjoyed.
It's been another week
of your favorite crypto pod.
Wait. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell,
Share,
leave a comment,
Yep.
share. Tell Alex he's beautiful.
It's been another.
And tell him he looks better with the goatee than without it.
I've been told.
And on that note,
It's been another week
of your favorite crypto podcast,
Sometimes Crypto
The Unscripted
Crypto Podcast.
Hey
Hey yo.